Are you ready to talk about the most polarizing player in fantasy football?
If I must.
Christian McCaffrey. This is a guy I definitely invested in last year and was definitely disappointed at the end results. We only got to see 7 games of him, but the 7 games we saw still looked like Christian McCaffrey. I'll read off his game logs. 18.7, 19.7. He had 4. I believe that was the injury week. 10.6, 16.1, 17.9, and 3.5. So I think, again, I want to say another injury week because the soft tissue injuries just kind of knocked him on his ass. And I think that's the scariest part. It's not like a guy just tearing his ACL or breaking a bone. When you start to hear about these reoccurring muscle injuries, it makes you a little uncomfy when we're talking about the sport of fantasy football and investing in a guy, especially investing in a guy with the number 2 overall pick, according to average draft position in both standard and PPR. Staring down the gun barrel, you have the number 2 overall pick. Are you doing it?
So there's a lot of reasons not to, but I would definitely be doing it. I have to say that part of the reason that I would is that Derrick Henry's also got the injury issues. Otherwise, he might be my choice. But Christian McCaffrey, his upside is just too good. I mean, the guy is capable of dragging a bad roster to a championship if he's healthy.
And you think about the other guys in that range. So you mentioned Derrick Henry. Okay, respect. Derrick Henry, still one of the most dominant athletes in the game. And we don't know what he's going to be because that was his first run-in with a real injury.
Yep.
You look at Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler wishes he was Christian McCaffrey. Austin Eckler has Christian McCaffrey PJs. That's kind of what Austin Eckler can hope to be for you in fantasy football. You just hope that he turns into what Christian McCaffrey was a couple of years ago. We're talking about a guy we talked about in another segment, DeAndre Swift targeting 1,000 season. Christian McCaffrey's done that. And only a few guys in the history of the NFL game have actually done 1,000. He's had multiple seasons with over 100 receptions out of the running back position. In his rookie year, he had 80 receptions. Now, that there are reasons besides the injuries to be a little bit concerned about Christian McCaffrey. Quarterback. We're still trying to figure out, is it going to be Sam Darnold or is it going to be Baker Mayfield? Even with that said, he had latter career Cam Newton throwing in the ball most of the time in his best seasons. And Cam was nothing special. Hell, he was able to make it work with Kyle Allen and some other of lesser ilk. So Christian McCaffrey could do it without, regardless of who the running back is. We don't think much of Carolina's offensive line either. You look around weapons that could take away targets. I mean, he's worked well with DJ Moore. He's worked well with Robbie Anderson, whatever Robbie Anderson is now. Or if he's on the field, he's fine. If he's on the field, he's definitely an RB1. I don't even think about it twice.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's just the seed of doubt is there.
There's always that seed of doubt with him. And when you draft him, it's going to be the scariest pick you make.
Like you said, he could carry a bad roster to a fantasy championship. So I could fuck up in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round. I'd hope I wouldn't, but obviously if I did, if I have a guy who's putting up wide receiver 1 production and running back 1 production, both in my starting lineup, I'm going to still manage to win more games than I probably should. You could be one of those guys that just because you have Christian McCaffrey, you're one of those lackadaisical owners that barely sets your lineup and you still happen to fall ass backwards into the playoffs. That's something that could realistically happen. And I guess for argument's sake, there's not a perfect running back in round 1 besides maybe Jonathan Taylor, right?
Right. There is definitely not one.
Austin Eckler, small guy, hasn't had a lot of workload in his career. Derrick Henry, again, we talked about it, first major injury of his career. We could get into the wide receiver territory, sure. But Najee Harris, 2nd year around, we just got to see what he can do with his changes at the quarterback position because Ben was just dumping the ball off to him. Ben trusted him as his favorite target last year. So it could be a different change of pace for him. Dalvin Cook, again, injury concerns. Joe Mixon, injury concerns. Yeah. Hell, the next one down that I look at is like DeAndre Swift, who again is trying to become Christian McCaffrey.
Also injury concerns.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
The only perfect running back out there is a guaranteed healthy Christian McCaffrey.
I think you still got to do it.
I do too.
So we both agree that the only one you rank above him is Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're staring down the gun barrel, you got the number 2 overall pick, just, you got to do it.
Yeah. I mean,
and if you really don't feel good about it, fine. Maybe you are in a league where you could trade down, consider that.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want to win, you take a shot at a guy like Christian McCaffrey and hope that he stays healthy enough to get you through.
This is one of those go big or go home type picks, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, are you putting your faith back in Christian McCaffrey? Let us know below in the comments. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. From Ju-Ju Talk Sports and Andrew Hohman. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. We will see you next time.